Hello everyone and welcome to the Switch into Plan B podcast. I'm Jumbo.
And I'm Robin.
And in this one we are reviewing the first race of the season at Bahrain. And Ferrari are back.
Tires are okay for Plan B.
So, Ferrari, unbelievable. A 1-2 for Leclerc winning the race and then Sainz in P2. Just very good to see the Scarlet Ferrari back on the top step, I think.
I called it last week as well, thinking that it was more wishful thinking. We did predict that Ferrari were going to get a 2-1, a 1-2.
A 1-2. I thought you were going to go into something then. It just looked good from day one in Barcelona. It just looked planted, well, the most planted it could be, because I definitely feel there's time to be found with all the cars, but that Ferrari just looked okay from day one, and they were sort of playing it down, and I was like, the onboards look pretty good, you know, and all of that stuff. And
even their pit stops were the fastest consecutively as well.
Like constantly about, was it like 2.3? I think Mercedes did like a 3.9 or something for Hamilton. I was thinking that they're gaining like a second in the pit stops at the moment.
Definitely saw a 3.4. I don't remember a 3.9.
Maybe
but
it was Russell. But they said they were going to be slow because of the 18-inch wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
But Ferrari just looked with it, with everything.
I know, yeah.
Mattia Binotto looks very calm and in control.
Yeah.
Leclerc was very calm and in control, led the whole race.
Yeah.
Sainz looked a little bit flustered.
Yeah, he has said that he struggled this weekend. So hopefully we'll get even better performance from Sainz later on.
But like when Max was just sending up the inside and going into turn one and stuff, Charles just sort of went, that's fine, I'll wait, and then I'll just take it back. And it was a good little ding-dong battle for a couple of laps.
It was, yeah.
But seriously, that Ferrari just...
kind of edge on my seat, because I was thinking, I really want Leclerc to win this now.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he did.
I don't know, it was just a very professional, well-oiled, un-Ferrari-like performance.
I know.
That's what I was a little bit surprised. It was much more like a Mercedes performance than it was a Ferrari performance.
It was, because I kept thinking, there's still strategy, and Ferrari are not known for being good at strategy. But they pulled it out of the bag. And
it was one bit with the undercut with Max, because Max, the undercut seems like it's very powerful, because... we'll mention this later, but the degradation of the tyre seems crazy high at the moment.
Yeah.
And Max came in a couple of laps early. Then Leclerc, they left Charles out for a little while. And I thought, oh no, Ferrari, you're going to mess this up now, because Max is going to be absolutely flying on the new tyres.
Yeah.
And even then, they were just like, no, it's fine. We think Max has gone early. We're just going to take it easy. Everything in the safety car at the end, not flustered, just come in, do your pit stop, out you go. I was thinking it
worked everything worked in their favour, I feel. Even, obstacles, but they kind of got through that pretty well.
Yeah, and then obviously we've spoken about Max a little bit already, but that's good. That's going to hurt Red Bull. 2 DNFs, because I think it was
not a good start.
I missed Christian Horner. I can't remember what I was doing, but you were watching it, so you might understand what it more was. That was the problem, but he said it was for both cars.
I kind of switch off when Horner's talking. I
think we all do a little bit, don't we?
Because a lot of the time he's just making stuff up, I feel.
Having said that, to be the devil's advocate, he's actually much better this weekend, I thought, Horner. I think the break
was good.
Yeah, and I think there's a big clear line under 2021 now, because obviously the report came out. And I don't know, everyone seemed a little bit calmer. And it was nice and refreshing. As I say, Horner wasn't making too many stupid remarks this weekend. So
no, he wasn't. It was more that he was saying that he thought that it was the same issue that affected both cars. They're not sure why. And it wasn't the same issue that affected Gasly's. So that was a separate thing.
Yeah.
I think that's all I really listened.
I did hear that when the last pit stop with Max, when they dropped the car down, they actually damaged the steering rack.
Oh, right.
So I think that's why...
Yeah, he was saying the steering wasn't related to the power thing either. Yeah.
Makes sense why it was just one way more than the other. But I was surprised at how reliable the new cars were, bar the Red Bull cars, basically.
Yeah.
I was expecting
a lot
half
of
the
DNF.
grid just DNF. But yeah, Red Bull, they're going to be kicking themselves, because that was guaranteed a second, really. Because I don't think Sainz really had the pace to get past Max.
No.
And Checo was just, I don't know, again, just wasn't quite anywhere near Max's pace either and was just sort of battling for signs. So, that's a lot of points. I think he said like 30 points that they missed out already, which is, that's championship deciding already. If they're going to be in a battle, that's going to hurt them later on.
For constructors, definitely.
Yeah, but just in general, I think that's a lot of points to lose.
Yeah, but I mean, like, dependent on what other races go like, you've got different tracks that Ferrari might not do well.
Yeah.
Red Bull can pick up points, or you also have, Mercedes might all of a sudden manage to pull things together and be up there, or even like, I don't know, Haas trying to compete for podiums and things like that. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they seemed quite close.
Yeah. Sorry, just going back to Red Bull, because there's a few other things. That Max did seem very frustrated this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, especially in the race anyway. I think maybe he thought he could have got pole and was a bit annoyed that he didn't get pole. And then I think there's a pressure almost on him that he's got number one in his car, I think, and he wants to make sure that he is still number one. I think there's a little bit more pressure on him now, because I think people would go, he's done it now, so we're expecting it from him. I think there's almost a different sort of pressure for, instead of being the up-and-coming kid, he's almost in Lewis Hamilton's position now, where you're a reigning world champion. People are expecting you to win every race now.
Yeah.
Because he was really angry with stuff and saying, I want to push the car more, we do see them get angry over the radio, but he just seemed very angry or frustrated this weekend, which I thought was not really that characteristic of Max.
Not
to that extent anyway.
But again, like he said that the car wasn't nice to drive, so that could have been an impact. You don't have a car that you're happy with, then you do get a bit annoyed. But the comparison I was making earlier was Lewis Hamilton. You would think that, as he is the championship driver and nearly made it last year, that he would be in a similar position of wanting to be further up and whatever. But because I think they know that they have a bad car, they're not expecting to be doing well. And so when they are doing well, they were very happy about it. Whereas I think because Red Bull know that they have a good car, I think Max was expecting more from it, because I don't think he realized how good Ferrari were going to be. I
can't work out if it's Ferrari being class and much better than I think everyone was expecting, or Red Bull have kind of left a bit on the table. They haven't quite maximised the car yet. And I think every team, there's a lot of performance to gain, some a lot more than others. But I think, it'd be interesting seeing Red Bull next week if actually they hadn't quite nailed it. And maybe they might come in next week and do it. But that Red Bull is quick.
On the straights.
That is really quick. I was surprised at how much faster it was. Because the way there was some of them, like Leclerc, I thought, no, there's no way Max is going to go for a move there. The closing speed that Max got in that Red Bull was ridiculous. Like the top end speed is, I was going to say mega, I hate that word, but it is huge.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah,
is what I thought you were going to say. I think Red Bull, they could be a real threat to Ferrari, I think. Yeah.
Which will be interesting to see. Just in general, though, all the Ferrari power cars seem very quick. So Ferrari was quick. The Alfa Romeo seemed very quick.
Alfa Romeo doing quite well,
And Haas seemed very quick as well. So I think it's quite cool to see Haas up there. K-Mag got 5th. I think Bottas was 6th. And Joe was 10th in the end. I can't remember where Schumacher was. I think it's just outside the points. But even so,
just behind Joe or...
Yeah, even so, a big jump forward for these two teams. And I think it was great. I think even Bottas dropped down to like 14th or something. So to come back from there shows that there is some serious pace in that Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
And they just had a really bad start to test it in Barcelona. But there was pace there all along.
Yeah. And Bottas was saying that once they fixed the reliability issues, the cars felt really good to drive. So I think we could see a lot more from them.
Yeah. And do you think this is purely down to just it being Ferrari powered? Has Ferrari found a bit more oomph? Do you reckon it's something to do with that? Or do you reckon it's just that? Because sometimes I know Haas, they share a lot of the parts with Ferrari. So I think they get like some of the suspension or the gearbox and all that stuff. So a lot of it is similar to Ferrari.
Yeah.
So it does make you wonder if it's those things or they've just had a similar sort of concept or something. I don't know.
I think Ferrari came out and said that a lot of people were working on the aerodynamics, and it was more about the engine earlier on, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So
I wonder whether they spent more time making sure that the engine gave the extra oomph that they need than fiddling about with the aerodynamics, which they knew would be fine. And yeah, that's why their car's doing better.
Yeah, because in my head I was going, I know they would have been lower down the grid, so they would have more time to develop the aerodynamics and stuff like that. The Haas and Alfa Romeo I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
But conversely, Aston Martin and Williams had a lot of time as well, and just all the Mercedes-powered cars seem to be struggling.
Yeah.
McLaren, whoa, big surprise. They were awful. They were so bad.
Yeah.
And Williams and Aston Martin weren't that much better either. So, there's a lot of performance to find with those three in particular, and I think Mercedes just in general as well.
Yeah.
But that McLaren looks terrible, really.
Yeah. Not good.
I mean, they were talking about the brake issue. And I just wonder I think there's a lot more than just a brake issue there.
Yeah.
And I generally thought that they would be up there with sort of like at least around Mercedes. Like you might get like a top 4.
Yeah. Because that would have made it a lot more interesting.
Yeah. If we can get, I was hoping like I think we may get 3 if Mercedes can sort themselves, which is cool.
Because I just feel like it's annoying to just have the same top teams.
Yeah.
Even if this year it is Ferrari, which is a bit different, but it's still a 2 top team, and you're just like, oh. Which ones are going to win today? Whereas then midfield makes it a bit more interesting. It is interesting that they're all so close, so much closer. Am I jumping here?
No, it's one.
Yeah, midfield especially. There's a lot more overtaking. There's a lot more interest.
I think there was, even on the first lap, we got like the actual back end of the group.
Yeah.
Because there was like, I don't know, it's like the rest of the 10 cars, there's like 3 wide all going in, and it was like crazy going on.
Yeah.
And that was much more fun to watch because, anything can happen there. And I think what I'm hoping is that everyone's going to find performance, and I'm hoping that it can all sort of get a lot closer to the top 2 teams at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we might get quite a bit of variation going on. Maybe that's wishful thinking because I don't know how easy it is to change your concept or development line, because you look at all the teams, they're all so different at the moment. So I'm not sure how easy it is to go, we're just going to try and copy that car because it might not work with your, ideology or whatever.
Yeah.
But one thing that did make me really laugh is with all the interviews, we had Charles going, it's been a tough couple of years, really trying to work it out. And Haas were like, it's been a bad couple of years, really down there and all of that. And I was thinking, I only had like 2 years down there. I feel a bit sorry for Williams. It's been like 5 to 10 years, and they're still way down there again. I was really hoping that Williams might be able to take a step forward, but
I was really hoping that Williams would do much better this year. And I was kind of thinking in my head, like, what if Williams are better than Mercedes? That would be crazy, but that didn't happen. Instead, Haas are better than Mercedes, possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
That's crazy, no?
But I think it's interesting that Mercedes seems to be better than all the other Mercedes power cars. Ferrari seems to be much better than all the other Ferrari power cars, and Red Bull seems to be better than AlphaTauri. So it's a bit like the top team or the engine manufacturer seems to be doing better than everyone else. So like, have they kept a little something?
Well, no, I think a lot of it is the understanding of it. They develop it, they understand it a lot better, isn't it?
Car around that
so then if something isn't working very well, they know what to change and what they need to do to adapt, or
that's a very good point.
And it could also be where you've got the body of the car, the aerodynamics, so they're all slightly different between them, because they develop that separately. I don't know if the engine performance and the shape of the car will be connected, but if they are, then that could be another.
Yeah, and I just part of me was wondering in my head that if if that McLaren was powered by Ferrari, I don't think it ever would be, because it's just wrong in my head. But let's say it was, would that McLaren be up there this weekend? We don't know. Do you see what I mean? Like it's just weird that there's certain cars that have got the same engine that are doing well, and there's certain cars that have all got the same engine they're doing really badly. So it's like, there was a whole massive engine sort of change with the 10% ethanol fuel and all of that.
Yeah.
we did briefly mention that this could be a big talking point of the season, that some teams might mess this up. My money was on Red Bull because I just generally thought, they spent so much energy last year. But it seems Mercedes somehow have really messed it up.
Yeah. But again, Mercedes will probably understand, because they developed the engine, they might understand more about how to then fix the problems. Whereas the other teams probably don't know what to do. Yeah,
I mean, there's almost like they had to go through communications to them, isn't it? It's not like you're getting directly from them, if you manufacture the engine, you know exactly what's going on.
Exactly.
So, yeah, interesting. I think that'll be one to watch over the next couple of weekends.
Yeah.
And see roughly where we are, because I wonder if that's going to be a trend emerging. But, obviously in a new era of F1s, we've got new regulation changes. Does seem to be a few things that I did notice. All the cars seem to be struggling to cool the car. So brakes and engines and stuff. That seems to be a big problem.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's necessarily because they're following cars. I think it's just in general. We talked about McLaren earlier, struggling to cool their brakes. And then Gasly's car set on fire as well, didn't it? Yeah.
And you had Hülkenberg couldn't pit because the car was too hot.
Yeah, never heard that before.
No, so he had to do another lap to try and cool the car so he could pit the car. And obviously, because when you stop, it heats up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So they were worried that it was going to overcook the brakes. So yeah, there's a lot of issues with heating.
Well, with cooling, you mean overheating?
Overheating, yeah.
There is a lot of problems with heating in the world at the moment because gas prices are through the roof. But that's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
We won't get into that.
We won't get into that. Yeah, cooling the cars seems to be a problem. I don't know. I mean, it was an evening race, so it's probably not even that hot there at the moment.
It's still like Bahrain, like Middle East.
I know.
Desert sort of temperatures, isn't it? But
yeah. But I'm just thinking what will happen when it's like a nice sunny day in the summer.
I think my main thinking is that it was almost like a test race. It's like a dress rehearsal today.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things they will find out, they'll collect a lot of data.
Yeah. It did feel like they were kind of experimenting with tyres and...
Well, I was just going to get onto that. The degradation is ridiculously high.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how much they were pushing it. Max was very vocal about he wasn't pushing it because they're trying to look after the tyres and all of that.
Yeah.
And obviously with the slower stops as well, because getting off these big chunky 18-inch wheels that are like, I think they describe them as barrels because you can't actually get your hands in them because they've got the covers.
Oh, right.
So actually trying to get them on, and they're heavier because they're bigger as well.
Yeah.
So they are different. And you've got like the fin as well over the front wheels. So, they are a bit clunky. So what I was going to say is we're not sure whether it's better to try and save the tyres or come in, push them and then come in more. I don't know, but definitely the tyres seem to be a big change this year.
Yeah. And I mean, when they did pit, because of the way that the cars are designed now, I think they were still making up back their positions and they were still coming, overtaking and getting back to where they were. Whereas just before, if you pitted, you'd probably be there until the people in front of you pitted to kind of move you back up the ranks. So I think it didn't seem like it was a problem to pit a lot.
I was going to say, I actually think it was quite interesting because more pit stops is more strategies.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I think this is actually almost better. You can go flat out, but then you have to, someone like Checo could maybe do a longer stint and make positions up that way. So then you've got two different styles. You could be super aggressive with Max and go just floor it.
Yeah.
And you'll make up the time, and Checo can be sort of your longer, something like that. You win a team battle, you could kind of do that, and Checo could hold up people. The undercut, as I mentioned earlier, seems really powerful, really powerful. So that'll be quite interesting going forward.
There was also the tyres not getting hot enough.
Is it signs on the formation lap where he was burning out the tyres, trying to get heat into the rear tyres or something?
Oh, is that what they were talking about? Because I think I missed the formation lap. I wasn't watching it then. But I was going to say Lewis with the hard tyres, where he kind of lost control of the car a little bit.
He just went ice skating, didn't he?
Yeah, it seemed like it was ice skating.
I never, when I play on the F1 game, I never like the hard tyres because I call them ice cubes because they literally have no grip.
Right.
And they're so much slower. And it was funny that actually, maybe that's what they're actually like, these new ones, because it was so Hamilton didn't even give it that many revs, and the back was just sliding all over the place.
Yeah,
It was quite it's like he was driving a shopping trolley or something like that. It just like he couldn't control the wheels.
Yeah, it was interesting because he then didn't stay on them for too long either.
No.
He then went back to the mediums.
And Toto said it's like the hard tyres were like putting their hand down the toilet or something like that.
I
don't quite understand that analogy.
No,
like,
I don't
why,
either.
why would you do that as well?
Not put my hand down the toilet.
Goodness knows, I'm never shaking Toto's hand ever again. Not that I have before, but yeah. The only other thing I was going to say about the regulation changes is that when we did get some racing, it was very good.
It was good.
I think there's a lot of promise there. I just think that the teams need to sort of find out what's going on in terms of performance, and I think they will over the next couple of races.
Yeah.
And then once they're there, I think we actually might get some good battling. Because,
and there was some good battling today as well.
Yeah, Verstappen and Leclerc was the highlight for me. Just them going at it. I thought that was really good. And then Bottas and Albon, I think it was, wasn't it? Albon. But like I've said before, I think the aggressive drivers will do better this season or with these regulation changes because you kind of can make moves now.
Yeah.
Whereas Bottas kind of still played the conservative game.
He still made up quite a lot of spaces, but he did, yeah.
But anyway, racing looks like it could be very good. We just need to see more of it, really.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see street races.
Okay.
If we could actually get racing on street races, because that's always a question mark for me. If we go to Monaco, because these cars do look very fat and chunky.
Yeah.
They're very clumsy because they weigh a lot. And they're super stiff as well. They really bounce around. So I'm partly thinking Monaco could be absolutely tragic this year because they are so big and clumsy. Like
could get a lot of crashes.
Yeah, but I just think
it's got really tight corners.
And although you can follow, I just don't think that can you still overtake that. That one's a question mark for me. I'll be interested to see if the regulation changes has helped that. But from what I saw today, I think you need a lot more space.
Yeah.
Because you can go side by side, but you need the space to do it. And I don't think somewhere like Monaco, I still don't think it's going to work. All right, so before we move on, we'll just quickly round up the grid. So we talk about anyone we've missed out. We talked about Ferrari 1, 2, Hamilton and Russell 3 and 4. We didn't talk about them too much.
No, I mean, they just put their head down and tried as hard as they could to get as far as they could. And 3 and 4.
I think
P3, P4 is probably better than they were hoping. So
yeah. Hamilton on the podium, I would, if someone said that to me after yesterday's qualifying, I would be like, not surprised, but like I would have thought, that would only happen if there were retirements, which
they
didn't
were. Really have the pace for it.
They were kind of in their weird own little space, weren't they? They weren't with the top two teams, and they were much quicker than the rest of the field, it seems.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're not as bad as they're making it sound, though.
No, but this is Mercedes. You're expecting them to be absolutely.
They're expecting to win races. They're not there yet, but they're not bad.
I've said K-Mag 5, unbelievable result.
Really good, yeah.
Very happy for him as well. He can't stop smiling.
I know.
He's turned into Ricardo.
Yeah.
Bottas 6, again, great result. Ocon, P7. I think that's a great result. He looks like, since he's got that race win under himself, or, he knows that he can win a race in F1, he has almost like a little confidence about him. And he's really taken it to Alonso.
Yeah.
So, a great result for him there. Tsunoda P8. Again, solid result.
Yeah.
Alonso P9. I think Alonso could probably get more out of the car later on. Zhou P10.
I know.
What a result. I did call that.
You did, yeah.
I'm a little bit smug at the moment. But yeah, that was a great result. Schumacher P11th.
That was also really good. That's like the highest he's come in a race in F1. So
I would expect points from him.
Yeah. I think he did. There was quite a bit of overtaking and between him and Zhou.
22 seconds behind his teammate though, and I know he did get tagged by Ocon.
Yeah,
actually, that's a great result by Ocon because he got 5 seconds penalty as well. So maybe that Alpine's quicker than we think it is. That might be one to watch as well. Yeah. Schumacher a little bit unfortunate. Stroll P12. Aston didn't look great. Albon 13. Ricciardo 14. Norris 15th. Terrible weekend for McLaren.
Yeah.
Latifi 16th, Hulkenberg 17th. Didn't even mention Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg was racing because Vettel has got COVID-19. Good to see him back, but just seemed to be not quite up to speed, I don't think.
No, I mean, I don't think it was his fault either.
No.
If you think about where Stroll got, he wasn't too far behind him.
No.
No. So it's more the car than than Hulkenberg's driving.
Yeah, and then obviously you've got DNF for Perez, Verstappen and Gasly to round it up. So, that was the Bahrain Grand Prix. All right, so last week, we're going to do race predictions because there is a race this weekend as well, this coming weekend. So Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. We did do predictions last week. Yeah. And I said Leclerc would win, which he did. So got my smug face on. Zhou would get points, was my surprise, which he did. And then I got my loser wrong because I said it would be Ocon, and he actually had quite a good race in the end. So, 2 out of 3, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I said the same. I said Leclerc was going to be the winner. I also said that it was going to be a Ferrari P1, P2, which I'm very smug about.
Yeah, bang on there.
At the time, I was saying this is just wishful thinking. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but it did. So I'm very happy. Losers we say? Yeah, that was Perez, which happened.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
And my surprise didn't happen because I thought Williams was going to be a lot better than it is. So my surprise was that they were going to get to Q3. That did not happen.
You got to Q2.
Q2, but that's not Q3.
So next week, winner, who have you gone for?
I'm going to go with Carlos.
Carlos to get his first win.
At Saudi Arabia. Yeah, because he said he struggled this week and I think he was kind of feeling like he's getting a bit better. I think he's going to work hard this week to try and find a bit better, more performance, more speed. Yeah, why not?
Why not, Carlos?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm pretty sure it will be Leclerc again. But
okay.
I've gone with Verstappen because I want it to be as many race winners as possible. And I think Red Bull have left a lot of performance this weekend on the table, on the track that they could have got. And Verstappen, I think, has got a little bit of unfinished business at Saudi Arabia. That lap from last year.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna arrive and just smash it. So I'm gonna go with Max Verstappen as my winner for next week. All right, biggest surprise or the surprise of the weekend for next week. I'm going to go with Mick Schumacher to get a top 5. So not just get points, he's going to get a big chunk of points.
Okay.
He's going to do a K-Mag.
Okay. So I think I'm going to go with K-Mag Podium.
I think K-Mag Podium.
Yeah.
If that's true, that means Haas are 3 and 5.
I know.
For Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
that would be insane.
Such a good. I was thinking whether to say Bottas, but I think K-Mag wants it more.
All right. So then loser for me. I feel really. I always hate this one because I always feel like we're being really mean to people. But that McLaren is so bad, I think that Ricciardo just doesn't seem to be with it.
Oh, you're picking on Ricciardo. You could have said Norris.
No, but I think Norris has got a little bit more about him with that car. He's had more time in it. I just think Ricciardo just...
You finished behind Ricciardo today.
I don't know. I just think Ricciardo might struggle with that car.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with. I did quite like the Google wheels, though.
Yeah.
I think they were Google wheels. They look like Google Chrome almost on the wheels.
It does look like it. I prefer Alfa Romeo's wheels.
Yeah.
They're a bit like those barber shop
signs.
The
barber signs, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Whole car is a little bit like that, to be honest, with a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm over it. Who's your biggest loser for next week or for this week, depending on when you listen to it?
Loser is going to be Bottas.
Bottas?
Yeah.
Why? What's he going to do?
Well, I think Stroll's going to hit him.
Outside the car or inside the car?
Inside the car. He's going to go...
It's not going to be like a Russell situation. He gets out and just lamps him on the head.
No. Like first lap, Stroll's going to try and overtake Bottas, and then doesn't necessarily have to be Stroll. It will be Bottas anyway.
It's a Bottas. Is this like a lap 1?
Yeah, like a lap 1 incident that's going to put him back.
Okay. So Bottas is your biggest loser. I guess from the highs of this week, getting a P6 and an Alfa Romeo to then a DNF on lap 1 would be...
Doesn't have to be DNF, just have to be like back of the grid.
All right.
Bad race.
Just a tough weekend.
Yeah.
For him.
Sorry, Bottas.
All right, so the final segment, fantasy team. I actually did all right.
Of course you did.
I think I got like 208 points or something. Leclerc got me like 96 points because I made him my turbo driver. And I had Ferrari as well. Gasly got me -4 though, because of that engine failure.
Yeah.
And then I had Vettel, but he turned into Hulkenberg, which isn't terrible, but not a great weekend.
Didn't get any points.
I think he got 3 points for me. And then I had Alonso as well. But moving on to this week, I've made 3 changes, everyone.
Ooh.
So I've gone with Leclerc is still my turbo driver, because I still think Leclerc's going to do well. Still got Sainz.
Yeah.
But I've got rid of Gasly for Checo Perez, because I think that Red Bull is going to be quick. And although I don't think Checo will get at least 4th for me.
Yeah, you just got to hope that they don't have any more engine problems.
No, but I just think that Checo is more likely to get more points than Gasly is. So that was my thinking with that. Then gone for K-Mag. So I took out Vettel because I thought, Ferrari-powered car seems to be doing well, and K-Mag seemed to be on it. And he's super
still
cheap.
Only 5 million, so...
Yeah, 5.5 million. He's so cheap. So I was like, I'll have him. And then I've gone for Bottas over Alonso as well, because I just think Bottas, again, a Ferrari-powered car, I think he's going to get more points than Joe is.
Yeah.
Just think that they're, I'm banking on the Ferrari-powered cars actually still being good.
Yeah.
And I've kept Ferrari as well as my team. But that's me. That was my thinking for this week, that Ferrari-powered cars are going to be good.
Yeah. So I went and spent all my budget before. And
Rookie error.
Yeah. In case you hadn't noticed, I haven't done this before. No, I had no idea what I was doing.
I've only ever had brief.
I was just picking my favourite people.
Yeah, I've only had brief history from football ones.
Yeah, I had no money, so I had to go for Aston Martin as my constructor, which obviously is a very bad choice.
Yeah.
So my main target was to get that move. So I got K-Mag.
Nice, cheap.
I replaced him with 4. No.
Yeah, you got him in for who?
Norris instead of Norris.
Oh wow, yeah. So Lando would have had a tough week.
Yeah, I got nearly no points for Lando.
Oh dear.
So I was like, I need to get rid of him. Obviously, I still have Carlos as my turbo driver. I have Gasly. I've kept Gasly because I think it was only just a bad race. I did get -4, but I think he'll be fine next week. And I kind of want to make sure that I've got a little bit of everything, so that in case all the, all the
chaos just kicks off or something.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking more like, for example, this week we've had 3 Red Bull cars go.
Oh right,
DNF.
I see what you mean, yeah.
So I'm thinking if next week there's 3, I don't know,
Ferrari-powered cars, I'm really screwed.
Then I've got a little bit of a mix. So I've kept Gasly in, and I think maybe it was a silly idea, but I still kept Russell.
He's a lot of money as well.
He's a lot of money, and thinking about it, I think I should have
24 million or something.
Yeah.
That's like a quarter of your budget.
I know.
So
I still couldn't afford to be Ferrari as my constructors, which I kind of wanted to be. So maybe I'll make some changes next week, but we'll see. So what did I go with in the end?
I think you said Alfa Romeo earlier.
Yes, because of my racing name, I think it kind of fit.
Yeah, it does.
Even though I've just predicted that Bottas is going to have a really bad weekend.
I know, but what do we know? we don't know that much.
So I'm hoping I'm wrong, and he does really well.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's everything.
That is everything.
We've got about 7 days from recording this till the next one.
Yes.
Which I'm looking forward to. Another one.
But it's less than that till F1 starts again.
What do you mean?
Well, it's not 7 days till F1.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So it's only like 5 days till...
Yeah.
I was thinking, Robin, F1 started the Friday just gone. It's not the season. It's not testing anymore.
Maybe I used the wrong words.
No. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, so it's 5 days till FP1.
Yes.
And we can see them going around Jeddah. Yeah, if you've got any questions that you'd like us to answer for next week's Grand Prix episode, because there will be another race review coming out the following week.
Yep.
Let us know. As always, you can listen to us on Apple Music or anywhere that does podcasts like Spotify and Amazon Music, as well as on YouTube. And yeah, we will catch you in next week's episode. Take care, everyone.
See ya.
Tires are okay for Plan B.